I left this earth today or tomorrow, what would people remember about me? And also, I want to leave something for my children.
My mother realized I had a gift for science. And so she put me in science camps too. And she sat me down. She's like, well, you might want to get something more stable, right? Because our parents, they were more about providing and stability.
Anybody can be rich today, but I think about longevity. What about 10 years, 20 years? What am I leaving?
Welcome to Her Beauty Regimen with Chanel, where we celebrate beauty, wellness, and the personal journeys of inspiring women and beauty founders. Join us as we dive into authentic conversations that highlight the beauty in every story.
Hello, and welcome to Her Beauty Regimen with Chanel. I am your host, Chanel E. Martin, and I'm really excited because we have another very special guest that I cannot wait to talk to. So we Kash Barb Thompson. She is a successful celebrity makeup artist living out her best talents, okay? She manipulates every aspect of social media. Starting as a local model in the DMV area, she appeared in many commercials, modeling gigs, hair shows, runway shows, and music videos. Some music videos include rappers Fabulous When I Feel Like It, rapper Black Cobain, Quiet Time, and more. Also, her modeling career, Kash found her love and talent for makeup artistry. So she began her career as a makeup artist with MAC Cosmetics, and it opened so many doors for her to work with celebrity clients like Trina, SWV, Monica, Little Mo, City Girls, Prince, Third Eye Girl, K. Michelle, and so many more. So after a brief stint in the nightlife, okay, she decided that it wasn't her main focus, and she wanted to focus on her makeup artistry. And so in doing so, she put everything she had in her resources in founding her very own cosmetic line. And Kash currently has a successful lipstick and lash line, the Kash brand. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. I'm really excited to get into these questions that we have for her. So let's go. All right. Hey, good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. I know I gave a brief description of your bio, but do you have anything else you want to add before I jump into these questions?
Yes, I'm a mommy of 2. So that is my biggest accomplishment out of everything that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a devoted mom. So yeah, devoted, however you want to say it. I love my kids. So before any of that, I'm a mom. So I have a 15 and a 5-year-old, which will actually be 16 and 6 this December and January. So add that to my bio.
All right. I love that. I'm a mom as well. So I'm so glad you're a mom because we have a lot of moms that are listening to us. I am a mom of 4, and I agree. Before anything, I am a mom. So I think that's awesome that you call that out for all of us moms that love being moms. I actually saw a TikTok last night, and they talked about being a millennial and how millennials were the first generation that probably actually love parenting, that love.
I would say I concur.
Yeah.
I think my mom loved her children, but I don't think she really enjoyed being a mom.
Yeah, same here. Love you, mama. I love you, but she live her best life now.
Times are different now. I think the difference is also parents. Like my mom, I could speak for her. They were more into providing versus the nurturing side. Some didn't have that ability. Me being married and having a 2-parent household, I can just be mom. So it's that struggle behind me, or that weight is not on my shoulders where I have to be provider and mom at the same time. So I think that's the difference.
Oh, you hit on something that wasn't even part of my notes, but you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I think a lot of us, we were determined to, when you know better, you do better. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I know for me, I was determined, and by the grace of God, my kids are in a 2-parent household. I don't got to worry about paying not nail bill. So, I don't know what it's like to figure out how to provide and take care and nurture, so I can understand. So shout out to the moms. Y'all did y'all best. And shout out to the new moms. Look, we paving the way. We breaking generational curses in here.
Facts. So I'm excited to see what our children do, you
Yeah,
know?
oh my, listen, our children are going to change the world.
Facts.
Because we done did all this therapy.
I
We
work
done
too
did all
hard.
this inner healing.
I work too hard for myself.
So, all right, let me get into just a few of the questions that I have. You have built your own cosmetic line, the Kash brand. And after years in the nightlife and celebrity scene, what inspired you to bet on yourself and go all in on your brand?
I think it was one of those things like people ask me this all the time, and it wasn't something that I thought, right? It wasn't planned. It was something that came to me. And that's when I always tell people some things are God given.
Yeah.
From me I started doing makeup because I modeled in high school. And it was just one of those things. My girlfriends would be like, "Oh, you're in the show? We'll do my makeup." It wasn't a thing that I planned. I wanted to be a makeup artist. It was a God-given talent that I had. So coming from the nightlife, it was one of those decisions. And it was like, what's the longevity of nightlife being a socialite? What is the longevity of being a video vixen? You get to a certain threshold and now you're a cougar. Okay. So that doesn't last. And I wanted something for myself. You know, if I left this earth today or tomorrow, what would people remember about me? And also I want to leave something for my children. So that was the biggest thing. I had my son at 22 years old and I launched my brand on his birthday.
Wow.
2016. He was born in 2010. So he's 6 years old and I made this choice. I have to leave something for my kids. So that was my biggest, that's why I always put mommy first, because everything I do is for my children. It's bigger than me.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for saying that. And I love how you talk about for your children, because it sounds like you're very legacy focused. And that's a really big deal for me. It's what drives me as well, because the Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So that means you got to be thinking 2 generations beyond where you are before you get ready to, as you decide on what moves you're going to make. So it's like, y'all, you got to evaluate, is that job going to prepare you for your children's children? Is that business going to prepare you for your children's children? So thank you for that.
Generational wealth. Anybody can be rich today, but I think about longevity. What about 10 years, 20 years? What am I leaving? If I died tomorrow and at my funeral, what would people say? What do I have other than, oh, she dressed this way, she drove this car? No one cares about materials, but I want to leave a mark. In the Kash brand, it's a play on the word cash and a play on my name. I can leave that, and it can go forward.
Absolutely. So that kind of leads me into my next question. You started as a model, you transitioned into being a full-time makeup artist. And you talked a little bit about, you started doing makeup because it was a God-given talent. And I guess you maybe can elaborate more on that. What moment made you realize that, makeup is part of my calling? Like this is a gift from God.
So when I first started working at MAC, growing up in my household, let me backtrack. In my household, my mom was very educational forward. Everything had to be what you think of as far as a career, a lawyer, a doctor, in that type of a profession. So growing up, I always said, I'm gonna be a pediatrician. I went and I made essays, I wrote essays, and I did things that would be geared toward that. And then I thought about, I don't even like children. I like my children.
You sound like me.
I don't like others. Okay. So it was like, that's not really my thing. I'm an artsy girl. And I remember being 8 and my cousin was in cosmetology school. And she would come home and I would watch her and I would do my own nails and I would do my own hair and I would put on makeup. And my mom had this burgundy lipstick she always wore and I would sneak and put it on when she left out. And so it was a thing with my hands. If you show me something, I can create it. But with the makeup, I loved how it made women feel. So you can come and sit next to me or you can sit in my chair and I can tell your self-esteem isn't all the way up there. But as soon as I beat your face, the difference in a woman, how they look, how they move, how they act, that's what drew me into this. And this is my calling because it's something I can give back, And when I worked at MAC, it was one of those, I was working at the post office actually. And the girls used to always say, well, you come here with a full face of makeup to deliver mail. And I'm like, well, my grandmother taught me if you look good, you feel good.
Yes.
I don't care if I'm even delivering mail or not. So it's like, well, why don't you work at Mac? And I felt like they didn't make any money. So then I did my research and I saw how much they made. And I said, oh, baby, I can make a killing here because I love the artistry. And so in working at Mac, within the first 8 months, I had clients flying in to get their makeup done by me at a cosmetic stand store, like a store, right? So I said,
Wow.
okay, if I took this on and made it a one-man band, how far could I go from here? And within 8 months, I had clients flying in, and within 3 months of that, I had my first celebrity client.
Wow. I just love how your steps were so ordered and you did your research. I think that's the biggest thing. Because I feel like sometimes we'll count ourselves out of something and we didn't even look to see. We didn't even do any research. And you just taught us something. I never knew how much they made, but I figured they was doing real good because they always look pretty fly. I figured it was.
We made good money. We made for back then. I don't know what it is now, but definitely we were making money then. And I'm not going to dim the light of my mom because it was a conversation I had with my mother. And I was having that transition. Should I stay at Mac? Should I not? My mother sat me down and she said, do you need them? And I had to think about it. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't know, to be an entrepreneur, I don't know where my next check is coming from. Like the 24/7 job of being a hustler, I have to be my own marketing manager. I have to be my own brand manager. I have to work their social media. Like everything falls on me now. But I took that leap of faith. And that's when you trust in God. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And if I fail, I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to keep trying again. And I mean, the first month I made $40, 40. And I had bills. I had rent. I had like, and from there though, it was a trifecta. Like it just went up from there. So word of mouth and just believing in myself.
Okay. So this is a twofold comment / question. I totally get it where your mom's coming from because my mother was the same way. I wanted to be an actress. Well, that was the first love. The first love was acting for me. Okay. I wanted to be an actress. I went to a performing arts school for middle school and high school. I did monologues. I won competitions. I just knew that I was going to be this actress. I was a kid and I begged my mama to give me braces. Girl, I had a smile little gap. I'm talking about a smile gap. Okay, it's probably cute right now. And I looked at the people and what their teeth looked like. And I begged my mama to give me braces. And I have got my own braces and paid for them at 16 because I was like, I need a picture perfect smile. Like I was into it, and I did very well, and I actually did get some scholarships in theater. But my mother realized I had a gift for science, and so she put me in science camps too. And she sat me down. She's like, well, you might want to get something more stable, right? Because our parents, they were more about providing and stability. She didn't know that I have a great husband that makes good money. She didn't know that these things, she wanted to make sure I could stand on my 2 feet. Yeah. And so she pushed me towards engineering. I became a chemical engineer. And I did. I got my bachelor's and master's degree in chemical engineering. Wow. But I'm going to tell you what I did though, because I'm like you, very creative. I said, well, listen, I'm going to be a chemical engineer because I want to make beauty products. I want to be the person that's in the plant, that's in the manufacturing. I didn't end up doing that because I didn't land a job, but I had my own manufacturing. I landed a job. I made, you're going to laugh. I made baby wipes and toilet paper. That was my first engineering job at Georgia Pacific.
I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Baby, I can't tell you how to make a baby wipe or some toilet paper. So I'm not mad at something I don't know. I know how to use it, but I don't know how to make it.
Yeah, I had to, but it did teach me manufacturing. I was just talking to a group of ladies last night how my big goal is to be a female Black owned manufacturing that can do large scale manufacturing for small to medium sized brands, right? I never forgot that. And so she helped me to see the different ways to be creative with what I want to do. And so that's what I ran with. So we just used my acting because I got a bubbly personality and I'm gonna always be me. And this helped me in ways, but so I get what you're saying. And I think that our parents are really good at guiding us, seeing what's in us and guiding us. So she's like, girl, you smart enough to own this, to make this. And I was like,
well, what? Pediatrician was not a guide for me. It landed me nowhere. So I went to school for business. Okay. And that was a thing. I always knew I wanted to own my own business. One, I have a problem with authority. So You can't tell me what to do. I'm my own boss. And if I've always had that issue with every job I worked in, it's like, literally, I can't work for someone else. So I went to school for business. Also, being a girl that grew up in the hood of Baltimore, I'm from the west side of Baltimore, Maryland. I also hung around street pharmaceutical people. So I learned how to hustle, and that helped me as well to have that type of street smart, because you could bring that into a board, and it bringing that into corporate world, bringing it to my own business, supply and demand. It's the same thing, and it helped me to talk to people, and I know what I like, so I feel like, yeah, my mom tried to help me. She tried, but the doctor thing wasn't my thing. And then when I found out you go through school for all these years to come out broke, I'm okay.
It was the blood for me. When I found out that you had to be touching people's bodily fluids, because I thought about it. I had a little boyfriend. He was in school. He is an actual doctor now. Because I went to Clark Atlanta. He went to Morehouse. He was like, he gonna be a doctor, and I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor too. I was gonna be and I was like, don't get me started. I was like, oh, I got
the blood. I'm okay with the blood. It's just the people. You have to deal with all types of people.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to touch your. I would be like, somebody else.
Somebody get it.
I can tell you what to do. Okay, I do have kind of like a follow-up question, and this might be our final question, but I think it's important. And it's not on my notes, but I think everyone needs to hear it. You said that your first month of entrepreneurship, you made $40, $40, right? Mm-hmm. And for some people, that would have been enough for them to be like, you know what? I'm gonna head out. This ain't for me. I got bills. What made you stick with it? Because I'm talking to the woman, the entrepreneur that started, she ain't made no money, or she's made just a little bit of money, and this wasn't what she thought it was gonna be. Let's talk to her.
It's my ego. It's my confidence. I literally have "Love Thyself" tattooed on me, and it's LPs for my grandmother, Louise Parks. She instilled in me this level of confidence and betting on yourself like no other. I know I made $40, but I also knew the power of manifestation. I knew the power of my goals and how I carried myself and my dreams, my aspirations, my ambition, my dedication. I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
I knew all it took. Okay, this is my first one. This is how my brain worked. So everyone knew I worked at Mac. No one knew I didn't work at Mac anymore. So that's why I made $40, because that one person knew I didn't work at Mac. So I'm like, okay, what do I have to do to get this word out? Let's use your social media. Let's post. Hey, I'm no longer here. Hey, this is where you can book me. Hey, so now your marketing and your branding cap comes on. So it was just betting on myself and literally trusting in God, like trusting in the universe that this is for me. If it wasn't, I could easily go get another job. But to work for myself, and also, again, like I said, my ego and my confidence, because it's like, if I can't do this, I fail at this. I don't fail at anything. So it was that push, that was that drive for myself. It was a self thing. No one else gave you, no one gave me anything. And I want to say that no one helped me get where I am, right? Yeah. Granted, I have a husband that has poured into me, but I worked very hard to make a name for myself. And I did this by myself. And I still, to this day, because I have been blessed thus far, I try to bless other people. All my friends that may be coming up who haven't been in the industry long, or they want to reach another goal, reach another level. I want to do celebrities, or I want to do this, or I want to work for networks. Okay, if I get that opportunity, you get that opportunity. So I bring everybody with me. Everybody can eat. They make money every day. So it was me. It was my ego. It was my drive. It's my ambition, just trusting in myself.
Wow. That is such a good, I guess, a way to end this. You got to bet on you. Listen, I love that, because this ain't no Christian podcast, but I'm always going to bring the word, because the word is in me. But I know that, the word says that he knew us before we were formed in our mother's womb. That's number one. Number two, the Lord also said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And then number 3, it says that the word says that he qualifies the called, right? So when you take all of those scriptures and all the things that if you are a church girly, we're putting all this stuff like bet on yourself, like when you are weak, he is strong. Like there's so much that God pours us, and he tells us to be strong. We should not fear, have no fear, be strong and courageous. So that's, essentially principles to live by that are going to push you to your next level and for you to not quit. And that was really good. I loved how you said nobody ain't know. And that's half the problem. Folks don't even know that you have what you're selling.
But I will add this sprinkle to what you said.
Okay.
There may be a path for you, but you also have to do the work.
Yes.
So you may be destined for something, but without the work being done, you're not going to get there. So we can always, have faith of a mustard seed.
Yeah.
You have to do the work. So that's where I feel like some people, and I'm not a religious girl, but I am a God-fearing woman, right?
Yeah.
But I hear people all the time, oh, in my faith, well, I'm just trusting God. Okay, It's there, but you have to do something to move. So have your beliefs, have your faith, be prayed up, but also put the work in, because ain't nobody going to give you anything.
That's my that's my type of carrying on over here. I believe that as well. Well, thank you so much, Kash, for this amazing interview. Are there any final words? I mean, I feel like that was a mic drop on its own, but are there any final words you want to leave our audience with as we close out?
I just think for me, I always try to tell women, and it can be men as well, but just trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, having dedication and ambition, and always definitely trusting God, because without any of those, you're stagnant, flatline. Okay. Without ups and downs in life, flatline, you're dead. So you're going to have ups and downs. How you pivot. So make sure you're always pivoting.
That's really good. Well, thank you so much, Kash, for this amazing, insightful interview. Guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Her Beauty Regimen with Chanel. And I'm so grateful for this time we have with you. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Her Beauty Regimen with Chanel. I hope you felt seen, inspired, and reminded that beauty is so much more than what we wear. It's how we care for ourselves and show up in the world. If you loved what you heard, here's how you can stay connected. Subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at HBR Brand for daily beauty, wellness, and founder stories. Share this episode with a friend or fellow beauty lover who needs to hear this. And if you're ready to explore indie beauty products and brands that put care first, visit us at herbeautyregimen.com. Until next time, stay well, stay radiant, and keep showing up as your whole self.